Hello and welcome to Stories from the River. I'm Tim Clouse, and I'm here with Brian Deckelnick, our Senior Director of Supply Chain. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you, Tim.
James Ouellette, our Associate Director of Supply Chain Operations. Welcome.
Good morning.
And Cherrie Rivera, our Associate Director of Operational Excellence. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hey, we're here today taking over for Charlie. We want to thank him for this time, and we also want to thank Caitlin for setting this up. And here we go.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
Brian, we'll start with you today. When you roll out of bed and you're excited for the day, what motivates you for greatness?
Everything begins and ends with family, right? I think it's probably true for all of us. But beyond that, I would say our people, really just trying to help our people grow and develop and give them fulfilling work lives.
Awesome. James, how about you, bud?
Obviously, to reiterate family and thinking of the kids and just enjoying spending time with them and leading them by example. I would say just keeping the end in mind. I always love to think about whatever hot project we're working on or whatever the big challenge of the day is, and just picturing where we're going to take it, how we're going to get to that final picture, and whether we're on the beginning of the journey or well along in the battle for it, just continuing to keep in mind, hey, this is going to be really exciting once we get it across the finish line, and that's what motivates me.
Awesome. Cherrie, how about you?
Well, again, family. Family is most important, I think, for all of us. But my loyalty to Broad River, and the team that I work with, I think you all and others, many others, help me be great. And I want to do the same and give back to them every day. So I come in with that mindset of just being a great partner and just here to win it.
And you are a great partner.
You are a great partner.
Wow, you guys are amazing. Thank you for saying so.
Ditto. All right. Awesome. Excellent answers. I appreciate y'all again for being here today. So our retail team talks about secret sauce. We as an operational team would also say we have a secret sauce. And I'll start with energy. I think the energy that we bring, the emotion, the connections that we make are extremely important to our operational team. And I think James hit on it as well. I mean, projects get us excited, and every project we have, we bring that energy. And I think that has definitely made us a differentiator in our space. Brian, what do you think?
So I'd say collaboration, so important, especially in supply chain. We touch so many parts of the organization, whether it's our operations and DCs, merchandising, marketing, finance, obviously retail, as well as our external partners, right? So our vendors and our 3PL. So got to work really closely with all of them and make sure we're all aligned and moving in the same direction.
Yeah, excellent. James, what do you think?
I would say it's the connection with each other. So regardless of what we're working on, it's really important to have that connection with each other and enjoy working with each other. So, for example, working with Human Capital and Lindsay Shelby and working on the employee survey, or working over with CX and Madison Wolf and working on attendance trackers or anything that they need. It's just fun to work with people like that, and that really helps you get through and just enjoy your time.
Yeah. What about our hourly memory makers, James? How do you think we connect with them?
Well, I think that by having events quite often and having things like the playoffs for DC of the year, things of that nature, really just getting them engaged, getting them involved. This isn't just punch the clock and wait for the whistle to blow. This is, let's come in, let's really do something together. Let's have fun. Let's gamify our work day and really try and enjoy ourselves.
Could not agree with that more. Awesome. Cherrie, how about you?
I would say, just to pull off of the collaboration and the connections, we just have a solve mindset. So interdepartmentally, and James, you called out a lot of the departments that we work together, and you did as well, Brian, but we're always working together and making sure that we're reaching out and making sure that the decisions that we're making or the issues that we're bumping up against aren't going to negatively impact someone else if we make a change. So that solve mindset, just getting us all together in a room or on a quick call, I think really helps us to be successful.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. I think the other piece that comes to mind when I hear the three of you talk about our operational secret sauce is also our ops leaders, because I think that the things that we're talking about also apply to when we're looking at new roles or we're looking at new memory makers taking that next step into leadership. I think these 4 things are also kind of part of what we look at to make sure they're ready for the role. Does anybody have anything else that they think we look for when it comes to our operational leadership?
Yeah, I do, Tim. I think that it's really important to have that our leaders definitely have patience and they have belief in those that they're investing in. It's okay to make mistakes. We're going to dust you off. We're going to show you where that went wrong. We're going to show you, hey, here's the better move next time. And then just say, I still believe in you. It's okay to make those errors. We're going to make sure that we get it right the next time. I'm right here with you. And I think that by doing that consistently, we're able to regularly pull from our own pool, help our own, reach new heights, reach new promotions. And I think that's a really important thing that we do.
Yeah, excellent.
I would say too, just to add to that, as we're bringing people up within the organization, we're looking at everybody with the next opportunity. So we've got some things to empower them to learn other roles with some cross training, perhaps, or exposure to different groups or teams. So I think that's really helpful too, to encourage that learning mindset and for them to ask a lot of questions and to embrace those questions, knowing that they're looking to seek to learn and understand, and we're here to give them that training or that confidence to step outside the box, right? So that's what we're really looking for in that leader, someone who's very culture-minded, but also willing to learn and challenge us to be better every day.
Yeah, I think those are both great examples. I'd also say courage. We want to make sure our leaders have the courage to take risks, know that it's okay to fail and learn from those failures. And then part of leadership is obviously helping people grow and develop, right? And so you have to have the courage. Sometimes that takes a difficult conversation, right? So you have to have the courage to have that conversation and do it in an empathetic and compassionate way and make sure that person knows that you're having that conversation to help them and help them grow and learn.
Yeah, it's more of a coaching opportunity,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, excellent. Awesome. You guys knocked the one out of the park. Nice job. Nice job. All right, so let's dive a little bit deeper into, Cherrie, something you mentioned earlier regarding the solve mindset. Because I know obviously energy, collaboration, connection, a huge part of that we believe is our secret sauce. But at the end of the day, we're the ops team, and our job is to execute on the commitments we've made to our guests, execute on the commitments we made to Broad River. And so at the end of the day, if we're not solving, we're probably missing a big piece of what we need to do. So let's dive a little bit deeper into solve mindset. What is our process?
Well, I think that we're always looking for that area of opportunity. It might not be broken, but is there some inefficiencies that we could close that gap on? So we're always looking towards what we're doing now, analyzing the situation, not just in one DC, but across all 3, and then getting together in a room, kind of talking through that. Is there something that we could do different to improve? And we just brace that as an opportunity to always get better, those incremental improvements all the time. So probably a shameless plug, but Epic Team is part of that. That's right.
As part of the thinking outside, thinking down the field, and how do we clear the path for our memory makers. And then I think something that you host for us every Thursday, which is our best practice collaboration meetings that you do with our departments. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so we actually do them on Fridays. We did switch them to Fridays. That's fine. But we have one department as a focus for the week. So we meet with each department once a month. We talk through what's working well, and then we talk about some struggles that we might be having. It might just be that we're having a conversation like, hey, this is really great. And it's like, okay, well, good. Is there anything you can think through? And so sometimes not, a lot comes out of it, but we're connecting, we're collaborating, we're making sure. And sometimes you say something's really well, and then someone goes, wait a minute, we're not doing it that well. What are you guys doing different? And let's see. And we'll talk through those and get into some details. But as a result of those meetings, I think that we have really just gained the comfort level to be fully transparent and open up and be honest about where we are struggling. It's not, oh yeah, we're getting the job done. We're delivering furniture every day, right? And we are executing the needs of our business in that way. But I think there's still some opportunities for us. But those meetings that we have really allowed us to move forward. We've made some minor changes just on how we're tracking data, so we can improve some KPIs. And so that is exciting, because to know you're doing well is one thing, but to think you're doing well is one thing, but to know it by looking at the data and comparing it month over month, and thanks to James, he's got some great reporting. He's always there to help us with that. So, but yeah, I think that those meetings have really made us stronger as an operational team. And yeah, we can only get better each time. That's what we're always looking to strive to get better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I would say in addition to that, identifying internal and external factors, and kind of goes back to the collaboration piece and working together. And obviously the internal factor is a little easier to control. We can identify them, make the tweaks where we need to. The external factors, and again, it goes back to that collaboration with our vendors and our 3PL providers, and either working with them to solve the issues, or adjusting and pivoting and doing what we need to do to account for them, and just being transparent about it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I think that we know those headwinds are going to be there, but we're not going to let those deter us. We know there's a solution out there. We're going to seek it out. We're going to find it. We're going to work through it, and then we're going to get it across the line. But yeah, not to be deterred, right? Yeah.
And then, once we think we've got it, we go back and analyze it again, look at it from another angle,
Never
pull
ending,
in someone else. That's right.
Always.
So we're always going back and looking through it again. So we'll reevaluate and restructure and retrain if whatever's necessary, so that we can continue that momentum.
Our own toughest critics.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's I think they talk about being on the front end of the wheel, right? Being front end on the motivation to, all right, we got it. All right, is it good? Is it working? And do we need to change and modify and pivot? And one thing I give all you all sitting here and the teams in the DCs credit for is we're never satisfied. You guys never seem to be satisfied with how well we're doing. The decoy, as you can see behind James and Cherrie, we're on season 3, and every year in August when we're talking about what are we going to do for the next year, you guys are, all right, well, we're going to meet this KPI and we're going to exceed this one, and we're going to make a new one. I mean, the team is incredible when it comes to just never really being satisfied with where we are, but celebrating the wins when we have them.
Yes. We do that really well in operations.
Have to. I think Charlie says it best. I mean, when you're winning, we need to celebrate it, because those are moments in time where a lot of hard work and effort have gone into it, and if we just dismiss those sacrifices, I think that's a disservice. And so one thing we're not going to do in our operations team is miss those opportunities, and I appreciate you all helping me do that.
Yeah, and we don't want to take them for granted either, right?
That's right.
Show our appreciation and celebrate with them.
Yeah. Right. Excellent. So Brian, we've had a little bit of a redesign when it comes to reporting, and we're so excited to have Brian and his team officially underneath the operations umbrella. But that's something new that's happened. But previous to that, you guys have been crushing it, man. I mean, the supply chain, our supply chain support inside of Broad River, you guys have gone through some massive things. COVID threw a bunch of challenges at you, and then the turbulence after COVID even has created some challenges, and your team just continues to put us in the best position possible. Tell us a little bit more about you, and tell us a little bit more about your team and all the awesome things that you guys have been accomplishing.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. I appreciate that, and certainly appreciate being part of the team now. I think it just makes a lot of sense, right? So one umbrella from the time the sales orders enter to the time the sales order is delivered, right? So
absolutely,
just very natural move. So as far as the wins in supply chain, I mean, we could talk, metrics. Broken promises are all-time low, under 3% consistently week after week. We're delivering to the customer faster than ever. We have normalized backlog. But I think even more so than that is our focus on our people. Big focus on our people. You mentioned COVID, when we all started working from home a few years ago. So we started at that point having monthly meetings, departmental meetings, where we connected via Teams, and we called those kickbacks. And they have really evolved over time. So we're really, 4 years in now.
Yep.
And this year, and credit to Danielle Lassiter and Sophia Inclisian, who are really the driving force behind the kickbacks. They started kickbacks with a purpose. Really focusing on our people and their growth and development. Our Q1 focus was on goals and motivation. Q2 is cultural diversity. I'm going to not ruin Q3 and Q4 for anyone, so we'll have to stay tuned here. Just that focus on our people. We implemented a bonus program for our team for the first time this year. Really aligns with what kind of CX is doing. for their people. And then coming up here in a few weeks, we're actually having our second annual Supply Chain Memory Maker Appreciation Week. We started this last year. We didn't even know it was a thing. Someone kind of stumbled over like, oh, it's Supply Chain Appreciation Day, April 28th, I think it is. And so like real quickly, within like 2 weeks, we tried to plan like an entire week, right? Because we don't do one day for appreciating our memory makers.
Never.
We do a whole week. So we just kind of threw some fun activities and games and gave away some prizes last week. And this year we wanted to step it up. So we're going to do that same idea, but we're gonna cap it on Saturday, May 4th, with having a cookout for our team. So we're going to get together. The leaders will cook out, serve our memory makers, and we're just going to get together and have some fun. So really excited about like I said, the focus we're putting on our people. And we just want to, like you said before, that 1% better every day, right? Continuous improvement. So next year we're going to look to even step it up another notch.
Yeah. Brian, that's
Really good.
it's excellent. And I agree 100% with everything you said. And again, so excited. We've already seen some synergies that have occurred with some transportation stuff that just gives me goosebumps when I think about how quickly we can move. I was obviously working yesterday and looking at Teams, and I saw a message come by, and I saw a message from Brian. He's like, "Yeah, we moved that from this location to this location." Like that didn't happen prior to this change. So really, really exciting stuff for us. Absolutely. Thanks, Brian. So James, you've been on the podcast before, I believe, sir.
That is correct.
How many podcasts is this
I
for you?
believe this is my third.
Number 3. All right. Well, 3 is supposed to be the best, is what I heard. So, you've been doing some amazing things for us. You talked about it earlier. Obviously, word of the year for 2024 is connect, and that's who James Ouellette is. If anybody gets to know James at a really deep level, he is all about connection, personally, professionally, helping people out through different projects that they have going on, and we can't be who we are without you. So let me take this opportunity to tell you how much we appreciate you, care about you, man. And so let's give you the
Back at you
stage.
guys.
Let's give you the stage. We talked about inventory profitability, I believe, the last time we were on a podcast. What do you want to share with us today?
The newest project has been based on transportation and working with our RLX partners and taking a look at, hey, what does every day cost us? What does each trip from each DC, what does that cost versus our budget? Are we aligned? Are we working together? Are we really having a focused vision together on what the end should be, and then working towards that? I think it's really important to always start with the finances. Always keep your mind on your money, and then work backwards, and then use that as a conversation point, because after all that, it's going to be what processes do we have? What decisions are we making? And we need to make sure that we're always considering where the dollars go and are they aligned with our current goals and our current budget. So that said, putting together a daily meeting where we talk through each route at each DC, we take a look at the cost, and we have an open conversation with our 3PL partners. And that way we're all aligned on where we're going to go, what tomorrow will look like when we look back, so no one's in shock. And then if there are any fluctuations in the plan and the actual, we talk through those and we try and find solutions to either mitigate them in the future, or at least have an understanding of the story to be able to tell, hey, this is why it went this way instead of that way. So I think if we do that every day, then the overall picture will improve. And so far we've been able to do that. This method has worked in the past, whether we're looking at labor with our infinity rosters, or if we've looked at non-labor spending. It's all about getting down to the details, but being able to communicate those and have everyone take a look at the map, take a look at what's going on, and then understand it, talk through it, and be able to move forward with the expectations versus the reality versus our plans, and so on.
Yeah. And not to let the cat out of the bag a little bit, I was privy to, so Austin Wilson, who's been with Broad River for, Sheree, do you know how long he's been with us?
He's been with us 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
There we go, 5 years. He was showing me some pretty cool automation stuff. I know it's been a big picture item for us for a while. And
it has.
What he showed the other day knocked my socks off. So want to give a quick shout out to Austin Wilson and Lee and the BI team for helping us, and really, really excited for where that's going to come.
We have some outstanding partners in BI, and the bedrock that Sarah Sanchez and I were able to build. Austin Wilson has come in and begun to just build that next layer, automate us more, bring in some fresh ideas, and it just feels so good to see the work that we've put in over the past several years. Someone else is coming along and really just jumping in with us and taking it to that next level for us, which really helps us spread out and be able to look at a wider array of the business, because he's there able to keep all of our bedrock going and then building up from it.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, James. Appreciate that.
Sure, thank you.
So Miss Cherrie, I think people call you in the warehouse, hey, Miss Cherrie.
Yeah,
Miss
that is true.
You have had an absolutely nonstop, would you say 2 years when we started?
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
So 2 years of work it culminated itself last year. And we noticed towards the end of the year, I won't speak to what the culmination was, but what I'll say, because I'll let you speak to it, but what we saw was we might have lost a little bit of momentum. And so part of the solve mindset, somebody brought it up, we talked about it, and we said, all right, what are we going to do to bring the focus, because as Broad River's been around for 20 years, we may or may not have always had really good processes documented, or even had a change management system around it, that we're supporting our memory makers on a daily basis with the jobs they have to do. So we said, well, how do we ensure that this new tool that we built becomes front of mind, the first thing they think about when they're coming across a problem? And so you guys have endeavored on your program,
Yes.
Which is also preparing us for the future. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about what you've been working on, what you're so excited about,
Sure.
and kind of where that program's at.
All right. Yeah, I am really excited about this. A year ago, we were able to roll out a SharePoint site called WISE, WISE. Is an acronym for Warehouse Information Support Environment. So we rolled that out. It has all of our documented processes in there, Word documents for how to navigate through our stores operating system. But then we have a lot of PowerPoints for our hands-on users, our furniture handlers that are unloading or assembling furniture, or our FEOs, our furniture equipment operators who are operating our lift equipment, so how to handle our product. So we got all that onto a site, and it was there, and everyone was really excited at first, and then all of a sudden it was like, I don't know that anyone's using it. We weren't seeing a lot of activity.
It's a lot of work went into that.
Yes. Yeah. And so, and it's so disappointing, and I have such pride in it, and there's so much tools there for our memory makers. We want to give that back to them. So we got together and we decided that we were going to have a WISE initiative. So with that, we wanted to gamify it. That's our word, right?
We love it.
So we need to get some games and build some excitement. So we have introduced a campaign. We call it our WISE campaign. So we have a logo, which is an owl. This here is Wiser, the owl.
Welcome, Wiser. Welcome.
Wiser is here. So we have a contest, and we're doing PQEs, which is a process quality evaluation. We're going to each DC once a month. We're spending several days walking through each department, talking to our memory makers, making observations, and just getting a lot of feedback. Well, while we're doing that, we're comparing to what we're doing versus what is documented. And for two reasons. One, we want to see how compliant we are. And then two, to identify if our documentation might need to be edited, right? Maybe it's either incomplete, or we need to add something to it, or maybe something's missing altogether that we just didn't do on our first go round. So lots of learnings there. It's very collaborative. A lot of connections are being made. We walk out of there with a long list of things for us to do. But in addition to that, we're giving the feedback to the DC leaders to share with their teams about maybe some inefficiencies they have. Again, I don't want to take away, we're getting the job done every day.
100%.
We're delivering furniture, we're unloading the product. Everything you're bringing in, Brian, is getting unloaded. But we just want to make sure that we're doing it in the very best possible way, whether it's through product handling or, we're not just wasting any steps. So we're giving that feedback back to them. The winner of the department winter for each DC gets to, I'm going to pull Wiser out here, gets to showcase this trophy in their department for the month until we come back the next time. And so we've just started this. We've launched it out. And can I say who won?
Absolutely.
And I'm really excited about this, super excited, because inventory, as you know, we had two of our 3 DCs did not have to do a physical inventory last year because our processes were so well documented and our compliance was very high. So this year, the first time we did our PQE, the inventory department won across all 3 DCs for compliance
Hey,
on documented
congratulations.
processes. Yeah,
Well
super
done.
excited. So I borrowed this from Jim Kosmiskis out of Fort Mill today, but shout out to Missy in Four Oaks and then Jacob in Spartan Ridge for doing such a great job there. And they're setting the pace for the rest of the departments to show what is possible just through documentation and compliance. And also, we just have great feedback. You know, those collaboration calls are good. So while we're on site, though, we make it a lot of fun. So we're giving out some things. I don't know if you can see the table here. We've got some little rubber owls. They're similar to those little rubber ducks that people collect in their Jeeps.
For the Jeeps, yeah.
Well, we have owls. And so when we're on site, if they can answer a question about something they saw in the WISE site, or if they give us a suggestion, we now have a QR code for suggestions. Again, we want to connect. We want everyone to feel comfortable bringing their ideas to us. So we're giving these out so they can collect all different colors. But then we also have some water bottles and some stickers and some shout outs. And we're trying to make it a lot of fun. And it's getting a little bit competitive.
Love it.
They're
Love
like, hey, do I get an owl for that?
Well, that's when you know it's successful, right?
That's right. That's right. So we've created some fun and excitement with that. In addition to just the PQEs, let me see if I can lean him back here. In addition to the PQEs and the site visits that were there, we've got some. Whenever we make a change to a documented process, we have a change acknowledgement form.
Mm-hmm.
So we're making sure that we're sending those out. Right now, we're doing that through Paycom. So we're really excited, and thanks to our HC partners and Lindsay for helping us get those out. But we're sending those so that everyone knows they are aware of the change, they understand the WISE. If they have any questions, they know now's the time to ask. So they're going to confirm that they've received that information. And then we also have training acknowledgments now. So for our new hires or for someone that maybe we walk through a process with them while they were on site, we're allowing them to, we're spending that extra time and then having them sign off that they received that training and that if they have any questions and stuff. I think it just encourages them to, hey, it's okay to ask questions before you sign your name saying, I know how to do something. Now's your time. So we have those, really excited about that. And there's always more to come. We have a long list of things.
Absolutely.
Yes, super excited.
Yeah, I think we've heard today, we love projects here in the operations team. So we're getting close to wrapping up. Brian, James, Cherrie, is there anything that we've missed today or anything that we'd like to share before we close?
I just want to say it's not just us, right?
100%.
We're here representing everyone that we work
Absolutely.
with, and when we say collaboration and connection and solve mindset, all of that is because we're doing that with everybody else. We cannot do any of that by ourselves. So if we didn't call your name out, just know we appreciate you all, and we're just here speaking for you on your behalf. But I'll speak for myself here.
Very well said.
I am just honored to work with the people that I work with, and I appreciate the honest, candid feedback. If they don't like a process, they tell me they don't like it, and so we'll sit down and we'll talk through and then say, okay, well, if you don't like this, what can we do different to still maintain the same results? So we want to make sure that we're doing those KPIs and those ROIs and making sure that we're not going to lose any traction there. But really appreciate people I work with. So including you guys.
one thread I wanted to pull was on the suggestions. So I did want to shout out Sarah Sanchez one more time because she seems to be our technology guru. Where the suggestion process is a QR code, and their QR codes are scattered across the DC, and anybody can scan the QR code and it pulls up a form and they can submit. So I love the way that we approached it. We could have done it on paper. We could have done it, use kiosks or somewhat there obviously were some other technologies out there that we could have leveraged. But what I love is the team said, nope, we're going to do something maybe a little bit more innovative. We're going to do something that a little bit more user-friendly to our hourly memory makers. And I just want to, again, shout you guys out for that. And we have seen some, because the process is easy, because the process is simple, we've received a ton of suggestions.
And some really good ones, really good suggestions. So yeah, and thank you for mentioning Sarah's
absolutely.
name. Yeah, so she did come up with that, and she's going on PQEs with me now and learning more. She started with you, James, and I'm glad that I have her. She slid over to this side
She's
now.
the best.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, she's the best. And then she's great.
All right, awesome. Well, that's going to be it for us today. Again, we want to thank Charlie and Caitlin for allowing us this time today. I think I know what I heard today was we got the energy, and we're going to bring it every day. We love to collaborate. We love to connect as our 2024 word of the year, and we're always solving. That's who the operations team is, and we got some great work ethic. We got people that care about our business constantly. There's a lot of compassion up here. There's a lot of drive. And if I had more time, I would probably use some more adjectives to describe this amazing team that we have. We hope you enjoyed your time with us today. We want to pass our enthusiastic karma onto you. And as my best bud, Carl, our director of retail performance, always says, we hope you're living your A+ life. Smash that like button wherever you're listening to us or watching us. Smash that like button, and we got some more incredible content coming your way. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. Join us again next week, and remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.